Okay, so what are the problems with Zamasu? What what is the big issue, or multiple big issues with this character that make him probably the worst cast character in the game? It's very debatable because yes, you have characters like Cyberman and you have a freaking what's his name? Apool. You have Apool and you have Cyberman. Cyberman and Apool are you can honestly argue that they are more effective than Fusamasu because they have better skills, and Cyberman in particular can melt health bars. Like Cyberman hits really hard at 180 for some reason. I don't know. His basic attack is just really high at 180. But Fusamasu is one of those characters that really hasn't benefited much from the 180 power creep, like so many other cast characters have. This character still kind of hits like a paperweight. He still does very little damage. For how long and drawn out his combos are, that's his light combo. It's around the same amount as my custom my custom rose here. And then he got his heavy combo, and his heavy combo, he doesn't have a proper heavy combo. He has this thing. And if you land the full chain, it's the lowest damaging heavy combo in the game. Then he has this, which is probably his best combo, and he of course has this as well. But do you see how little damage he does? Even with his highest damaging combo. Like, there really isn't any point in doing anything but this combo here. Because it provides the most utility and it does the most damage. So why would you do any other combo? This is a combo that I almost never use. I almost never use his triangle, square, triangle, square. I never use this combo because it does such little damage. I think even his full light combo does more damage than this. It's almost identical damage, actually. So that's even worse. This should logically be his strongest string. But it barely does more than his light chain. And then you got the fact that his combos always send your opponent off their feet, which makes it to where if you follow up with any other string, or just simply continue the string, they will start regenerating stamina rapidly. Particularly on that little combo right there. Particularly on that. When he lands that kick, they start regenerating stamina rapidly. So it's better to just continue. It's better to not even continue the string and just commit into triangle instead to complete that string. Because doing this allows you to combo into either Blades of Judgment for a decent amount of damage, or Lightning of Absolution for a decent amount of damage. Although, to be honest, at 180, I would say that Blades of Judgment is the better one to use. Because it does more damage. However, there is a problem. You saw it right there. Blades of Judgment also makes their stamina recover pretty quick when you hit them with it. So one could argue that it is worth just using Lightning of Absolution instead. However, you're doing less damage if you do that. Speaking of Blades of Judgment, this is an almost completely useless gimmick that it has. While it does send them up, if you actually land the detonation, it's almost impossible to actually combo into the detonation of the blades. Because in order to actually make it knock the enemy down and combo into the explosions, you have to throw this out raw. Otherwise, it will always home in on the enemy. The only way you can combo into this is by stamina breaking with a heavy. Which admittedly does set up some pretty okay damage with your other skills as follow-ups. You can even hit your ultimate attack after this, if you're at the proper height. Mind you, if you're really high, you're not going to be able to do that. And that's another problem. His ultimate attack. If you are at a certain height, hold on a sec, I gotta wait until his stamina gets to the proper threshold, otherwise I won't be able to land it. That is what will happen sometimes. It'll either completely miss and just explode on the ground if you don't time it right, or it'll go right over their head and miss entirely if you're at a certain height. Other than that, you can't really combo into your stamina breaks, by the way. I mean, you can do this at the top of the map. If you are at the top of the stage, you can combo into this that way. Hold on a sec. Kind of difficult to demonstrate. You can combo into this that way. And that also works with a heavy stamina break. But this only works at the top of the stage. If you're at any other level, it will not work. See how I had to delay it right there to actually catch him as he was getting up? Yeah, it's a little troublesome to use this ultimate skill, admittedly, because of those weird tracking inconsistencies. Then his stat allocation. Actually, no. I'll go over Holy Wrath first. Holy Wrath, admittedly, is a pretty decent 1-bar skill now. Because it's a way for you to do extensions. If you want to do good damaging extensions, Holy Wrath is the way to do it. Hold on. You gotta kind of be fast. You can't really follow up with your other skills. You can only follow up with your melee combos. And like I said, you've got to be fast. If you're anything less than fast, you can't follow up with your blast either, unfortunately. But it is a good way to extend your combos a bit. That's the only way you can land it, by the way. But the other features this skill has, you can get the second charge off, perhaps. Because they did speed that up at least. But this third level, man, it's pretty much impossible to land this outside of a heavy stamina break, but at that point, just use your ultimate attack. Because your ultimate attack is going to do more damage and it's going to be faster. You get no protection when you charge this. You're completely vulnerable to anything your opponent wants to do to you. They can even throw an ultimate attack at you raw, and you can't do anything about it because there's no cancel feature on this skill. And on release, when this character was first put in the game, that was pretty much worthless to do. Because doing the uncharged version did like, I don't know, 1,000 damage when he was first put in the game. It was inconsequentially low. And then there's his stat allocation. He has a really good amount of health at 180. He almost has a blue bar. But his ki, I don't know why he has so much ki. This has baffled me since release, why he has such a huge ki pool. And it's only gotten worse with 180. His damage didn't really get that much higher at 180, but his ki bar is almost at max. The big benefit that he got from 180 was his stamina. Just because before you could only evasive once. When he was first put in the game, you could only really get an evasive off of once because his stamina bar was so low. Now he can evasive 3 times at max level 180 currently. But his ki bar is so massive, and I can't really come up with a reason logical. I can't really come up with a logical reason as to why he would have such a massive ki pool. Because he has nothing but 1-bar skills. None of his skills are ki dump skills. And he has a 3-bar evasive skill. He has a 3-bar ultimate skill, excuse me. And not only that, but he has this skill as well. Divinity Unleashed, which gives him a really high amount of ki generation on attacking. You can't land that, by the way. Just thought I'd let you see that. But did you see how much ki I was regenerating from that? And it's a fairly long buff, too. And it's very quick to activate. You've only got to hold your charge down for like 1.5 seconds. Whenever he starts saying, the power is flowing together in this one body or whatever in the dub, he says, I've got it in Japanese. But whenever he starts speaking during his charge animation, that's when the buff active. That's when the buff will activate whenever you stop charging. It's really easy to activate this. And then he's got this Super Soul, which gives him almost 10 whole seconds of unlimited ki. Enough time for him to throw 3 consecutive ultimate attacks without using any ki. So, why does he have so much ki? It just doesn't make any sense. I am baffled by it to this day, why he has such a large ki pool. It's completely redundant. There's no purpose to it. And then you have this, his moveset. He has a unique heavy attack combo chain, which is nothing but these red ki blasts. And if you charge it, it does this volley. And he has this on his jump as well. He has an incredible amount of range with his heavy attack. This is one of the things that makes him so unique. But the problem with this is that, and this has been an issue with him since release, you can deflect these. And you don't even need to time it. Because it also falls victim to auto-deflection. So you can just smack it out of the way by moving forward slightly. This includes the volley. Hold on. It's a little bit difficult to time. There we go. Yeah, you could still do it against the volley, as you see right there. His jump attack as well. You can smack it away by timing it, or you can smack it away by just walking into it. It's completely inconsequentially weak. Like, it is not a good neutral tool at all because of how easy it is to counter. And you don't get anything off of it except melee extensions. And even then, because of how short his light startup is, you have to fly every time you want to continue off these things. See, like, I almost couldn't reach him. Why does his Keyblade have such short reach compared to his unfused counterparts? Both versions of Goku Black, I mean, all three versions of Goku Black have more reach than this guy does, and even base unfused Zamasu has more reach than this guy does. Rose has the exact same Keyblade, yet he has more forward momentum and reach than fused Zamasu does. Why is this the case? I don't understand it. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. And then the final thing is that this guy has been in need of a custom... He's been in need of a custom partner preset for so long, and he has so many skills they could give him. He could have God Splitter, he could have Heavenly Arrow, he could have Divine Retribution, he could have Divine Lasso, he could have any of the new Rose skills, Crimson Edge, Divine Sphere, he could have Instant Transmission. There's all sorts of skills you could give this guy to give him the tools he needs to really be decent. But he hasn't gotten it. He's been one of those casts that has just almost been forgotten by the devs, it seems. I don't think they've touched this character hardly ever since release. I think the last buff they gave him was just making this cost less ki. I think the last change they did to him was just making Lightning of Absolution cost 1 bar of ki instead of 2. Because whenever he was first put in the game, it costed 2 bars of ki for some reason. Despite the fact that it did such pitiful damage. He has been in need of a custom preset for so long. And it would really help him a lot. His kit would be a lot better if you would either buff his own skills. Like, for example, you could make it to where on knockdown, the blades will explode on the ground like they would if I throw it out raw. That would be a good buff for Blades of Judgment. A good buff that you could give Holy Wrath is just make it to where you move around a little bit faster when you're charging it. You could either give it a cancel, or you could just give it armor. So that an unaware opponent can be hit by it if they try and stop you. With anything less but a grab, or something like that. Something that can't be armored through. But he could be so good if you could give him access to things like Divine Spheres, or God Splitter, or anything like that. He would be so freaking dangerous in the right hands if he had skills that powerful. And by all accounts, he should have those skills. Those are his skills. He's the combination of Goku Black and Zamasu. It makes no sense for him to not have a custom variant and him have access to those skills. But anyways, I just needed to get that off my chest. It's been bothering me for a long time now, just how bad this character is. And he's only gotten worse over time because the other characters have gotten stronger and he's gotten weaker. I don't know how well this video is going to do, but I'll post it anyway because I haven't posted anything on my channel in a bit related to Xenoverse, and the new DLC is probably going to be released pretty soon, so I need to get back in the swing of things. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed and liked hearing me rant about this, then leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to my channel if you are new, and I will see you all next time. Peace.